Silence is one of the most powerful responses a person can give. In a world where everyone is quick to react, to argue, and to prove themselves right, silence stands out as a sign of true strength. Not true strength. When people try to provoke you, insult you, or drag you into unnecessary drama, your first instinct might be to respond, to defend yourself, or to fight back. But in reality, reacting emotionally only gives them power over you. It shows that they can control your emotions, dictate your actions, and push you into a space where you waste your energy. Choosing silence, however, sends a much stronger message. It shows that their words or actions do not affect you, that you refuse to engage in negativity, and that you have complete control over yourself. Many people misunderstand silence. They think that not reacting means weakness or acceptance, but that couldn't be further from the truth. The truth. Silence is not surrender, it is wisdom. It is knowing that some battles are not worth fighting, that some people do not deserve your energy, and that your peace is far more valuable than temporary satisfaction. When you refuse to react, you take away their power. Their power. They expect an argument, a response, a debate, something that will keep them relevant in your life. But when you stay silent and simply walk away, they are left with nothing. That silence forces them to deal with themselves, to sit with their own negativity, and to realize that they do not have the effect on you that they thought they did. There is a difference between reacting and responding. Reacting is immediate and emotional. It is often fueled by anger, frustration, or the need to prove a point. Responding, however, is intentional, thoughtful, and sometimes it means saying nothing at all. When you choose silence, you are making a decision to rise above the noise, to protect your energy, and to maintain your inner peace. The more you engage with negativity, the more it grows. The more you feed into someone's toxic behavior, the longer they stay in your life. But the moment you stop reacting, the moment you remove your attention, they lose their influence over you. Silence is also a test of discipline. It is easy to argue back, to defend yourself, or to make your case. It is much harder to remain silent, to detach, and to let go without explanation. But that is where true power lies. When you refuse to engage, you are demonstrating that you have mastered self-control, that you are no longer affected by their actions, and that you are focused on bigger things. You are showing that their negativity is beneath you, that their attempts to bring you down are failing, and that you have moved beyond the need to react. Some people thrive on conflict. They enjoy drama, they feed off attention, and they look for ways to get a reaction from others. The best way to deal with such people is not to argue, not to prove them wrong, but to remove yourself from the situation completely. When they see that you are no longer available for their games, they lose interest. They move on to someone else who will give them the reaction they are looking for. But by then, you will have already separated yourself from their toxic cycle, and you will be in a place where their words and actions no longer affect you. Another powerful aspect of silence is that it gives you clarity. When you are not busy reacting to every little thing, you have more time to reflect, to think, and to focus on what truly matters. You begin to see people for who they really are. You start to understand who brings value to your life and who only brings negativity. You learn that not every comment deserves a response. Not every insult needs to be addressed, and not every person is worth your time. The most successful and peaceful people in life are not the ones who win every argument. They are the ones who know which battles are worth fighting and which ones are better left alone. They do not waste their energy on things that do not serve them. They do not allow others to control their emotions. They know the power of silence, and they use it to their advantage. By choosing silence, you are not ignoring the problem. You are choosing to rise above it. You are making a conscious decision not to engage in negativity, not to waste your energy, and not to allow toxic people to take up space in your mind. You are prioritizing your peace, your growth, and your success. And in the end, that is what truly matters. There is immense power in walking away. Many people believe that engaging in conflicts, proving a point, or making others understand their perspective is necessary. But that is not always true. Sometimes, the best response is no response at all. Cutting someone off silently is not about holding grudges or harboring resentment. It is about recognizing that certain people do not deserve access to your energy, time, or peace. When you argue with people who thrive on drama, you are giving them exactly what they want: attention. Toxic individuals feed off of reactions. They provoke, manipulate, and push your buttons to get an emotional response. They do not seek resolution. They seek control. They want to pull you into their negativity, to make you question yourself, and to drain you of your inner peace. But when you refuse to engage, when you silently walk away without explanation, you rob them of their power. You take back control over your own emotions, and you send a clear message that their words and actions no longer hold any weight in your life. Shinsen. Cutting people off silently does not mean you are weak or passive. On the contrary, it is a sign of strength. It shows that you have the maturity to choose peace over chaos, wisdom over impulsivity, and self-respect over unnecessary conflict. It means you understand that not everyone deserves closure, not everyone deserves a response, and not everyone deserves a place in your life. Some people are simply not worth the effort. Many people struggle with the idea of cutting someone off without explaining why. They feel the need to justify their decision, to provide closure, or to make the other person understand what they did wrong. But the truth is, closure is not always necessary. In some cases, silence itself is the closure. It is a way of saying, I have nothing more to give to the situation. And that is more powerful than any argument or explanation. It is important to remember that your energy is valuable. Every interaction you have either adds to your life or takes away from it. Well, when you engage with toxic people, when you argue with those who refuse to change, when you try to fix relationships that only bring pain, you are wasting energy that could be used for something far more productive. You do not owe anyone an explanation for choosing peace. You do not have to justify protecting your mental health. Walking away is not selfish. It is necessary for your well-being. When you stop reacting to negativity, you force people to deal with themselves. They no longer have you as a distraction or as an emotional punching bag. They are left to sit with their own actions and their own consequences. Sometimes, silence is the loudest message you can send. It tells people without words that you are done, that you are no longer available for their games, and that you have moved on to better things. Cutting people off silently is also a way to break unhealthy cycles. Many people get trapped in toxic relationships, friendships, or environments because they keep engaging, keep explaining, and keep trying to make things work. But when you silently walk away, you break that cycle. You refuse to be drawn back into a situation that does not serve you. You take a stand for yourself and your future. There is also an element of mystery in silence. When you react to negativity, people know exactly how you feel, and they can use that against you. But when you say nothing, they are left wondering. They do not know what you are thinking, how you feel, or what you are planning. That uncertainty can be more unsettling than any words you could say. Puts you in a position of power because they no longer have access to your thoughts or emotions. The most successful people in life are those who know when to walk away. They do not waste time on things that drain them. They do not argue with those who refuse to listen. They do not stay in places where they are not valued. They understand that silence is a tool, a strategy, and a statement. It is not about avoiding conflict. It is about choosing which conflicts are worth their time. If someone consistently disrespects you, lies to you, or takes advantage of your kindness, you do not have to fight them, prove them wrong, or seek revenge. You simply remove yourself. Let them go without a word, without a fight, and without looking back. You focus on yourself, on your growth, and on the people who genuinely support and respect you. Life is too short to waste on people who do not appreciate your presence. Your energy is too precious to be spent on unnecessary arguments. Your peace is too valuable to be disrupted by those who bring nothing but negativity. So, when the time comes, do not hesitate. Cut them off, walk away, and let your silence be the final word. There is a certain power in maintaining your silence while removing yourself from toxic situations. Many people believe that they need to defend themselves, prove a point, or make others understand their side of the story. Often, the most effective way to protect your peace is to disengage completely. Not every battle is worth fighting, and not every person deserves an explanation. When you cut someone off silently, you are choosing to invest in your own well-being rather than wasting energy on people who do not appreciate or respect you. Silence is often misunderstood. Some see it as weakness, as if staying quiet means accepting mistreatment. But in reality, silence can be a powerful tool. It is a form of self-control, a refusal to be manipulated into unnecessary drama. Toxic individuals thrive on conflict. They want a reaction, a response, anything that shows they still have control over your emotions. When you refuse to engage, you take that power away from them. You leave them confused, frustrated, and unable to feed off your energy. Instead of wasting your breath explaining why you are walking away, you simply do it. People often struggle with the idea of letting go without closure. They believe they need to have a final conversation, a moment of clarity, or a mutual understanding before cutting ties. But the truth is, not everyone deserves closure. Some people are incapable of seeing their own mistakes, and no amount of explaining will change their behavior. Someone has repeatedly hurt, disrespected, or betrayed you, they already know what they have done. They just do not care enough to change. Giving them a final explanation only gives them another opportunity to manipulate the situation. Instead, let your silence be the closure. It is the loudest statement you can make. Choosing to walk away quietly also prevents unnecessary emotional exhaustion. When you engage in arguments, rehash past mistakes, or try to justify your decision to leave, you are spending mental and emotional energy on someone who is not worth it. That energy could be used for something far more productive. Your growth, your healing, and your peace. When you decide to cut someone off without a word, you are prioritizing your mental health. You are choosing to focus on yourself rather than on people who bring negativity into your life. Many people feel guilt when they walk away from toxic relationships or friendships. They wonder if they are being too harsh, too unforgiving, or too distant. But there is nothing wrong with protecting yourself. You do not owe anyone constant access to your life, especially if they have proven that they do not respect or appreciate you. Your well-being should always come first. If someone repeatedly brings stress, drama, or toxicity into your life, they do not deserve your time or energy. You have every right to remove them without explaining yourself. It is also important to remember that not everyone will understand your silence, and that is okay. Some people will try to paint you as the villain, accusing you of being cold or heartless. Others may try to reach out, demanding explanations or attempting to pull you back into the same cycle. But their opinions do not matter. What matters is that you are doing what is best for you. Staying silent and walking away is not about pleasing others. It is about taking control of your own life and protecting your peace. One of the biggest advantages of cutting people off silently is that it allows you to move forward without unnecessary conflict. When you engage in heated arguments or drawn-out discussions, emotions run high and things can become even more complicated. But when you remove yourself quietly, you are making a clean break. You are refusing to let negativity consume any more of your time. You are allowing yourself to heal without reopening old wounds. There is a certain dignity in silence. When you choose not to react, you show that you are in control of yourself. You demonstrate that you do not need to stoop to someone else's level to prove your worth. Your actions speak louder than words. By walking away without a fight, you are showing that you value yourself too much to engage in toxic behavior. You are proving that your peace is more important than temporary satisfaction. At the end of the day, life is too short to waste on people who do not contribute to your happiness. Time is the most valuable resource you have, and spending it on unnecessary arguments or toxic relationships is a waste. When you silently remove yourself from situations that do not serve you, you free up space for better things, healthier relationships, positive energy, and personal growth. You do not have to announce your departure, justify your decision, or seek validation from others. Simply walk away and let your silence speak for itself. There is a profound strength in detaching yourself from negativity without engaging in unnecessary confrontation. Many people believe that when they are wronged, they need to respond, explain themselves, or defend their actions. But in reality, true power comes from remaining composed and simply walking away. Cutting people off silently is not about revenge or proving a point. It is about self-preservation. It is about understanding that your energy, time, and peace are more valuable than any argument or explanation. One of the biggest challenges people face when deciding to walk away from toxic individuals is the fear of judgment. Society often pressures us to be forgiving, to seek closure, or to maintain relationships even when they are harmful. But the truth is, you do not owe anyone constant access to your life. Just because you were close to someone in the past does not mean they have a permanent place in your future. If a person continuously disrespects, manipulates, or drains you, the healthiest thing you can do is remove yourself without giving them another chance to hurt you. Many times, the people you cut off will not even realize the extent of the damage they have caused. They will see your silence as an overreaction rather than a necessary step for your well-being. That is because they were never paying attention to how their actions affected you in the first place. If they had truly valued you, they would not have given you a reason to walk away. This is why explaining yourself is often pointless. Some people are incapable of seeing their own faults, and no amount of conversation will change them. Instead of wasting your energy trying to make them understand, simply let them go. Silence is a response in itself. It sends a clear message without the need for words. When you cut someone off without engaging in unnecessary discussions, you are making it known that their behavior is not worth your time. You are demonstrating that you refuse to be drawn into negativity, drama, or manipulation. Toxic people feed on reactions. They want to provoke, to stir up emotions, to maintain control. When you do not give them the response they are looking for, you take away their power over you. People often seek closure before moving on, but the reality is, closure is not always necessary. Sometimes the only closure you need is recognizing that a relationship is no longer serving you. You do not need to have one last conversation, one final argument, or one dramatic goodbye. True closure comes from within. Jill. It comes from understanding that you deserve peace, respect, and happiness, and anyone who threatens that does not deserve a place in your life. Choosing to walk away in silence also allows you to focus on yourself. When you engage in unnecessary conflicts, you are giving the other person free space in your mind and emotions. But when you remove them quietly, you shift your energy towards things that truly matter. Your goals, your peace, and your growth. Your growth. Instead of spending time crafting the perfect response or thinking about how they will react, you invest in becoming the best version of yourself. That is where true power lies. Some people may interpret your silence as weakness. They may believe that you do not have the courage to confront them. But in reality, silence takes more strength than reacting impulsively. It takes self-control to walk away when every part of you wants to respond. It takes discipline to prioritize your peace over the need to be understood. Reacting is easy. Staying silent and choosing your battles wisely is what requires true strength. At first, walking away without an explanation might feel uncomfortable. You may feel the urge to defend yourself, to say something, to seek validation. But over time, you will realize that you do not need external validation to make the right choices for yourself. You do not need approval to protect your energy. The moment you stop explaining yourself to people who will never understand you is the moment you reclaim your peace. Eventually, you will notice that your life becomes lighter when you let go of unnecessary negativity. You will find that the less you engage with toxic people, the more time and energy you have for things that truly matter. You will start to attract relationships that are healthy, supportive, and uplifting because you will no longer be wasting time on those that drain you. Life is too short to spend on unnecessary conflicts. Not every battle is worth fighting, and not every person deserves your time. Walking away in silence is not about running away from problems. It is about choosing which problems are worth addressing and which are not. When you prioritize your peace, you naturally remove those who do not align with your values. You learn to move forward without looking back, knowing that silence is sometimes the most powerful response of all. Letting go of negative people does not mean you hold grudges, nor does it mean you are weak. It simply means you have reached a point where you understand that not everyone deserves a seat at your table. There is an incredible sense of power in walking away without resentment, without the need for explanations, and without looking back. True strength is found in maintaining your dignity, even when others try to provoke you. It is in choosing your peace over chaos, your energy over drama, and your self-respect over unnecessary conflict. One of the biggest mistakes people make is believing that they need to respond to every insult, argument, or betrayal. The truth is, not everything in life deserves a reaction. Sometimes the best way to handle negativity is to simply remove yourself from it. When you react, you are giving the other person control over your emotions. You are allowing them to dictate how you feel, how you respond, and how you spend your time. But when you choose to remain silent and walk away, you are taking back that power. You are showing that their behavior does not affect you enough to warrant a response. Silence can be uncomfortable, especially when dealing with people who expect a reaction. Toxic individuals thrive on drama. They want a confrontation because it fuels their need for control. When you refuse to engage, they may try even harder to get under your skin. They may provoke you, spread lies, or attempt to manipulate you into responding. But the moment you recognize that their actions are a reflection of their character, not yours, you free yourself from their influence. You no longer feel the need to defend yourself against people who are committed to misunderstanding you. Letting go silently is not about suppressing your emotions. It is about choosing where to place your energy. Instead of wasting time explaining yourself to people who will never listen, you channel your focus into things that truly matter. Your goals, your growth, and your peace of mind. You stop trying to change people who have no desire to change, and you start investing in yourself. This shift in perspective is what allows you to move forward with confidence. Many people struggle with the idea of cutting others off because they feel guilty. They worry about being seen as heartless or unkind. But self-preservation is not selfish, it is necessary. You cannot pour from an empty cup, and you cannot thrive in an environment that constantly drains you. Keeping toxic people in your life out of obligation only harms you in the long run. It holds you back from reaching your full potential. Walking away is not an act of cruelty, it is an act of self-respect. Some relationships are not meant to last forever. People grow, change, and sometimes outgrow each other. That is a natural part of life. The key is recognizing when a relationship has run its course and having the strength to move on without resentment. Holding on to negativity only burdens you, not the other person. When you release the need to explain yourself, seek validation, or gain closure, you allow yourself to heal. You create space for better things to come into your life. People often ask, what if they never realize what they did wrong? The answer is simple. It is not your job to make them see. Some people will never acknowledge their mistakes, and that is okay. But your growth does not depend on their awareness. The best way to respond is to continue living your life in a way that aligns with your values. Your success, happiness, and peace will speak louder than any words ever could. It takes discipline to stay silent when every part of you wants to react. It takes patience to walk away when you feel the urge to explain. But the more you practice detachment, the easier it becomes. You start to see that not everything requires your attention. You begin to prioritize your energy, choosing only to invest in relationships that uplift you rather than drain you. With time, you will notice a shift. You will find yourself surrounded by people who respect you, value you, and bring out the best in you. You will no longer feel the need to chase relationships that were never meant for you. Instead of reacting to negativity, you will be too busy focusing on your own growth. That is where true freedom lies, in knowing that your peace is more valuable than any temporary satisfaction that comes from proving a point. At the end of the day, life is too short to spend it caught up in unnecessary conflicts. Not every battle is worth fighting, and not every person deserves your energy. Choosing to walk away in silence is one of the most powerful decisions you can make. It allows you to protect your peace, reclaim your time, and move forward without being held back by negativity. The less you react, the more control you have over your own life. When you stop reacting and cut people off silently, you are making a powerful statement, not to them, but to yourself. You are choosing peace over chaos, self-respect over unnecessary confrontation, and growth over stagnation. In a world where everyone is quick to respond, defend and retaliate, the ability to detach and walk away is a rare strength. It is a sign of emotional intelligence, wisdom, and a deep understanding that not every battle is worth fighting. The energy you give to others should be reserved for those who genuinely respect and value you. When you cut off toxic people without explanation, you are protecting your most valuable asset, your peace. Many people struggle with the idea of silence because they believe that closure requires a final conversation, an argument, or an opportunity to explain their side. But closure does not come from others, it comes from within. When you choose to step away without engaging, you are freeing yourself from the cycle of back and forth explanations that never lead to resolution. Toxic individuals thrive on emotional reactions. They feed off of your responses, whether they are positive or negative. The moment you stop giving them that satisfaction, they lose their power over you. The truth is, not everyone deserves an explanation for your departure. Some people know exactly why you are distancing yourself, but they will never admit it. They will play the victim, twist the narrative, and make you seem like the unreasonable one. This is why silence is so effective. It denies them the opportunity to manipulate your words or your emotions. Instead of wasting your breath trying to make them understand, you simply let your actions do the talking. Walking away without drama shows a level of maturity and self-control that most people do not expect. Detaching from toxic people does not mean you do not care. It means you care about yourself more. It means you refuse to let someone else's negativity, insecurity, or selfishness dictate your emotions. There is no reward for constantly explaining yourself to people who have no intention of understanding. The more you engage, the more you allow their energy to infiltrate your mind. The moment you stop responding, you reclaim control. You send a message that your time and well-being are not up for debate. Some people will take your silence personally. They will assume you are being rude, bitter, or unkind. But cutting off toxic individuals is not an act of cruelty. It is an act of self-respect. When someone repeatedly crosses your boundaries, disrespects you, or drains your energy, it is not your responsibility to keep giving them chances. It is not your job to fix them, to make them see their faults, or to keep peace at the cost of your own happiness. Your only job is to protect yourself from situations that hinder your growth. People often say that cutting someone off is harsh, but staying in a toxic situation is even worse. The longer you allow negativity to exist in your life, the more it affects your mental and emotional well-being. Energy is contagious, and if you surround yourself with people who constantly bring drama, conflict, and stress, you will eventually absorb those same vibrations. Cutting them off is not about revenge or proving a point. It is about preserving your own sanity. There is a misconception that strong people do not walk away, that they endure, fight, and prove themselves. But real strength lies in knowing when to let go. It isn't having the courage to leave situations that no longer serve you. It is an understanding that you do not need validation from toxic people to move forward. 2. The strongest people are not the ones who engage in every argument. They are the ones who choose their battles wisely and refuse to let negativity consume them. Life becomes significantly lighter when you stop carrying the weight of unnecessary relationships. When you cut off toxic people silently, you allow yourself the space to grow, to heal, and to focus on the things that truly matter. You stop wasting energy on those who do not deserve it, and you redirect that energy toward your goals, your passions, and the people who genuinely support you. At first, it may feel uncomfortable to walk away without an explanation. The temptation to respond, to defend yourself, or to get the last word can be strong. But the longer you practice detachment, the more you realize how liberating it is. You begin to see that your silence speaks volumes, that your absence is more powerful than any argument, and that the best response to toxicity is no response at all. There is nothing more empowering than realizing that you do not owe anyone access to your life. You do not owe them explanations, apologies, or second chances. Your peace is yours to protect, and the less you react, the stronger you become. The best revenge is not proving a point. It is living well, thriving, and becoming the best version of yourself while they are left wondering why they no longer have a hold over you.